Hi everybody, my name is Lori and welcome to the Icing Artist. So today we're going to be making a really fun, super cool New Year's cake. Now this cake isn't just awesome on the decorations outside, but it is a pinata cake. So it's going to be super cool all the way inside the cake too. So to make those cool little clocks on top of the cake, I'm just going to roll out some white fondant, about this thick. Now I have some circle cutter here, that one side it's a right circle and then the other side it has kind of these really cool edges. So I'm going to cut out some of the squares and circles in different sizes and shapes. Now I'm just going to use a skewer. I'm going to stick that into my shape, and that's so it can, when it dries, it can stick right into my cake. Now I've also rolled out some thin fondant. I'm going to cut out two different sizes of circles. Now to my fondant, I've actually added some Tylose powder to it, so that way when it dries, it'll dry rock hard. But you can also use gum paste. Now to make my 2016 numbers, I'm using some black fondant with Tylose powder as well, and I'm just going to roll it into this little kind of wormy log shape. I've tapered off the two ends, and that's so I can roll them up just to make a cute little number. And again with this skewer, I'm just going to stick that into my two. It doesn't have to stick in too much because once these have been drying for a couple days, it'll be rock hard and you can actually just set it into your cake. Now I have a couple different colors of edible glitter here. You can just get those at your cake decorating stores. And these have already been drying for a couple days. So I'm just going to wet it using some water. Now for my numbers, my little clocks, I'm only wetting the outside of it so that way none of the glitter gets to the inside where we're going to be putting our clock. And then just kind of going back and forth, I'm just shaking all of my glitter all over my circles and my clock. Now just using a dry brush, I'm just going to brush back and forth over my shapes, and I'm really trying to get off any of this excess glitter. And as you can see, the water helped the glitter stick to my shapes really nicely. And you can just set those aside. Now I've also used gold and silver and red and blue in lots of different colors to make my cake very festive. I've done the same with my circles. Now with all of that extra glitter, you definitely don't want to throw that out. So I'm just going to fold my paper towel in half and then kind of funnel that back into my jar for a later day. Now to make the clock, I'm actually going to cut out a smaller square and then glue that onto my bigger square using some water. And that's going to give me a nice clean surface to work on. Now you can let those dry again for a day or two. And I'm ready to use my edible marker to draw on my numbers. So I decided I wanted all of my clocks to say midnight. So after I've drawn on my numbers and my little dots, I'm just going to make a little arrow. Now you're going to need 3 layers of an 8-inch round cake. So I've used a 4-inch tall pan, and I've just filled that all the way up to make my tall cake, and I filled it halfway just to make my short single layer cake. I'm going to divide that into 2, and that's going to create my 3 different layers. I'm going to fill the first one using some buttercream icing. And then for my second one, I'm going to use a 4-inch wide cake pan, and I'm just going to cut all the way down and then pull it back out, and that's going to leave me with this kind of cylinder. Using a cake lifter, I'm just going to carefully place that on top of my first layer. Make sure that's good and centered. And I have these little chocolate balls. Now they're wrapped in foil, but I really like them. I thought they were super festive. So if you don't want to use candies that are wrapped in foil, you could always use Skittles or Smarties or just some other kind of candy like that. Now I'm ready to stick my top layer onto my cake. And again, just make sure it's nice and stuck down and centered. Now using my bag, I'm just going to apply some icing onto the outside and just give it a light crumb coat to make sure none of my frosting is going to kind of seep out of there. Now I'm going to give it a thicker layer of buttercream going all the way around the cake and all the way onto the top of the cake. Using my offset spatula, I'm going to start smoothing that out. Starting off at the top of the cake. Just kind of going around and around using my turntable to help turn it. And scraping off any of the excess. And then I'm going to do the same thing onto the sides of the cake. So you're just kind of pushing the icing back and forth until it's nice and stuck. And then turning it around in your turntable until you get a pretty smooth finish. For any of my recipes, you can go to theicingartist.com. I have all of them there for you guys, and you can go ahead and print them out and use them as you like. And using a piece of paper towel, I'm just going to rub that over the top of my cake. And as I peel that off, that's going to give me a nice seamless finish. Now, this buttercream icing, you don't need your cakes to crust at all. You can paper towel them right away. It's perfectly fine. Okay, now for the fun part. So since it's 2016, I'm going to put my 2016 numbers onto the cake. And then right in behind that, I'm going to put all of my clocks. I really want them to be different heights and different angles and sticking up all over the place with all these different fun festive colors. And for my little polka dots, I'm just going to add a dab of buttercream icing onto the back of them and then stick those onto my cake. Now, I want this to be kind of off-centered. I don't want them all in one spot. There's no really rhyme to reason. I'm just kind of sticking them on here, there, and everywhere. And when you're ready for your party, you can go ahead and cut your cake, pull out the piece, and you have a wonderful surprise inside and some delicious chocolate. Everybody is going to love this cake, and they're going to especially love that special surprise inside.
I hope you guys really enjoyed my cake. It's actually the first piñata cake I've ever made, so leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought. And let me know if you guys would like to see anything else like that. I would also love some great ideas of what kind of cakes you guys would like to see in the new year. So if you have any requests, don't forget to leave those as well. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe because I do put out new videos every week and I'd love to see you guys around. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye.